Welcome back to Rinoa Reviews, and welcome to Day 2 of Street Fighter Week. Now, this released in Japan before the live-action movie did over in the States, but this is my second Street Fighter movie I've seen. I believe this was a Christmas present for me, because I remember having this in Alpha 2 for the Super Nintendo at the same time. Which, funny enough, has a stage that also opens this movie up. So, let's dive into the animated measuring stick that is Street Fighter 2, the animated movie. Like I stated, we open up on the setting if you play as Sagat and make it to the final bout against Ryu. Very cool stuff, by the way. Everyone having kinda their own boss. I can't say I remember it much during the time of Street Fighter 1, but yeah, Sagat doesn't have the huge body scar yet. These two go at it as data and statistics are being shown. Sagat makes the mistake of jumping at a waiting Ryu, even though he thinks he's down. Shoryuken rips through him like a lightning bolt. I really like how cool that move looks. Even Sagat's Tiger Shot earlier looks like it'd be a death sentence if it hit you fully. But now, Sagat, very much bloodied up. Yeah, much in the uncut version. He's pissed, racing towards a Ryu, charging up a Hadouken. Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level? It's over 3,000! Title drop as the fireball is let go. Another nod to something in Alpha Gold this time. So they probably got it from this, maybe. Red coat, but it's more Street Fighter than Killer Bee Cammy, who just runs up and murders some diplomat. Something that happened earlier, I guess, because now it's camera footage that Chun-Li and I assume her superiors at Interpol are looking over. Chun explains Cammy is tied to MI6 but has no memory of the past 3 years, suspecting that Shadow Law, yeah, not Shadowloo, which, not quite right sounding, but it does sound cooler and more sinister. Shadow Law. She suspects they're controlling selected Street Fighters, and Chun-Li plans to partner up with American military forces, so we get our first of quite a few instances of Chun-Li and Gao working together. Or not? Gao's not interested in the partnership, saying, Bison's ass is mine, but less Belgian. Much to Chun-Li's animated chagrin. Secret Buddha statue actually housing the base of operations for the big bad VTOL, housing the 4 kings of Shadowloo. And they're walking, and they're walking, and they're walking along, and they're in position standing around looking cool as Bison sits to receive a report from Shadowloo's version of Igor named Senno. It's an early version of Seth? No chest dealy, but they've got a camera eye. Surveillance cyborgs, we'll be seeing them here and there throughout the movie. But this is how Shadowlaw keeps tabs on everything going on in the world of street fighting, including that first fight between Ryu and Sagat. Bison wants Ryu at any cost. Another thing we'll be seeing here during this movie is Ryu doing Ryu things when isolated. Doing a more flightier Shoryuken in this instance, and a flashback. Straight up Alpha era Ken versus Ryu sans any headband training in this flashback. Ken letting Ryu know at the end, someday we're going to have to use what we learned in a real life situation. Let's rock some of that 90s new metal soundtrack as Ken drives in style to meet Eliza briefly in America. And then to Hong Kong. Fei Long skipping out on his own movie shoot and checking out an underground street fight. Oh hey, it's Ryu getting thrown in against his will, one-shotting whoever's across from him. This gets Fei Long's attention, and we get fight number 2, Fei with the Bruce Lee wata! Roll back and forth for a while until Ryu traps Fei's foot and then swept off his other one. Fei even kind of speaks Kung Fu movie a little bit, gets upset and nails Ryu with the Shien Kyaku. But my god, the recovery time. Like, Fei's up in the air for like literal seconds at a time. It's just, woo! So Ryu gets back up and owns Fei with his multi-hitting Tatsumaki. So, let's review. Lightning fast Shoryuken like a coiled spring if he charges it enough. DBZ levels of Hadouken charge and release. And a Tatsumaki from Street Fighter 2 Vanilla. No wonder that rating was over 3,000. So after the fight, Fei and Ryu converse about what happened to Sagat post-scarring, and now Ryu has some vague knowledge about Shadow Law. Ryu's already had 2 fights. Here's one for Ken against T-Hawk, the latter of which, I guess, picks a fight with the US karate champ. They're getting scouted by a cyborg on a motherfucking boat. Ken backed into a corner by T-Hawk, who is taken down by that spring-loaded Shoryuken, which the cyborg is sure to pick up. about to Hadouken him too, but Teok is well defeated and leaves him be. Wondering, where's Ryu? Why'd you just up and vanish? He didn't vanish, he made his way to India, doing his wandering thing still. Runs into a street urchin who drops this vial of milk, or I guess like a pitcher or whatever, that Ryu's quick to repay. And takes in another street fight, being a spectator this time. Muscle versus distance with Honda versus Dalsim also being monitored. Dalsim puts some sort of spell or trance on Honda near the end, making him paralyzed. Dalsim, being more attuned, actually senses Ryu's power. Cyborg and Dalsim try to find Ryu, but he's gone. And now that Dalsim is not focusing on his trance anymore and wondering where that power came from, Honda snatches him up and chokes him out. Dalsim quickly surrenders. Says he can't fight and feel another power. Not sure the significance of that, but I think some nameless Shadow Law guy shows up to karate chop this Gandhi-looking dude in the throat and runs over the returning street urchin with change for Ryu. Dude gets shot from local police and his own men he exited his black limo from. Ryu takes the limo people down before they can gun anybody else down. As ambulances arrive to attend to the guy shot and the girl, Honda decides, whether through Dalsim or on his own, to give half his fight money win to Ryu, stating, "Japanese fighters stick together." Back over to Shadaloo, Senno has the data on Ryu's American equivalent, Ken Masters, letting Bison know it might be a better idea to go after him since they don't have enough data to fully know Ryu's capabilities. Either his cyborgs fail to obtain the data, or Ryu's actually holding back his full potential. Mentions Cammy, but Bison's pays no mind. Even after seeing footage of Chun-Li's interrogation, Cammy remembers nothing. Bison still wants Ryu, but is ready to collect Ken personally. Another convo with Shun and Gal. She tries to get him on board. Gal's hearing none of it. She knows his beef with Bison's personal. She reveals that she too has a personal issue. All the more reason to help out. Guile accepts, who hears of an excuse to put DJ in the movie. It's more like if DJ came from Southtown and not Jamaica. Guile tells him that Shadow Law's looking for him, and DJ replies, "Yahoo! They are some bad motherfuckers." Can the rest of this movie be with this guy? Also, did Chun-Li just kill a guy? Oh wait, she kicks the head off one of the camera cyborgs. Not so greatly disguised. I mean, he's got a hat on, but you can still see the face. But yeah, Gal has DJ put a word out on the street about these Shadow Law guys. Another cyborg on the roof is still taking footage. And now Bison's clued in, sending Vega to deal with Chun-Li as he asks for what's going down in Las Vegas. Balrog on the phone with snobs and all organized crime for a party before they all take in for street fighting. It's Zangief versus Blanca. The latter who no-sells a spinning pile driver, or at least down for a little bit while Zangief poses. Blanca with a deep bite and then electrocution, possibly to death. Never finished. We enter gratuitous violence, now to the gratuitous fan service. Somebody sneaking into Chun-Li's apartment. Traffic making sure Guile doesn't help immediately. Before probably the best fight in the whole movie. Not even probably. Chun-Li versus Vega. In the fight, Guile's trying to call her apartment, but the phone gets knocked over. Guile hears the struggle, so now he's peeling through traffic to get to that apartment ASAP. Did Chun-Li just pick up a whole couch? Vega stops the flex and gets his face mangled as a result. The fight continues. She gets cut up real bad, but powers through and lightning legs Vega through the side of her apartment. Okay, now Chun-Li just killed a guy. Guile finally arrives and takes her to the hospital as Interpol discovers Ken's in Seattle under cyborg monitoring. Guile tells them keep at him and Ryu as well. Speaking of Ken, flashbacking while driving can be dangerous. I don't know how you can do that. He asks Eliza to marry him. She's taken aback by her beau being so serious, but she says she'll consider it. Ken drops her off, so now he gets introduced to Bison. Pretty calm for being literally lifted out of his car and onto Bison's VTOL. Nothing he tries even works on Bison. His Hadouken gets quickly bounced back, and it puts Ken on his ass. So he gets nabbed and Guile once again tardy to the party. Guile returns to Chun-Li with knowledge about Shadowloo's HQ readying the strike and finding Ryu in the Tai Laos border as Bison goes to work distorting and magnifying Ken's competitive nature against Ryu to turn him into his own puppet. Seems like Ryu's back on the same cliff he did the Shoryuken on, now climbing it. So we get another flashback. Ken back kicks Ryu so hard it draws like a cut over his forehead. So this is where Ken gives Ryu his red headband. Damn, Ken, I just noticed your crazy Heihachi-level eyebrows in this movie. Holy shit. Guile's headed to the border, as is Bison, who dismisses Sagat's want to fight Ryu again, stating, "Fighter's pride, how dull. The world is now your ruler, not the street." Sends him to go deal with Cammy, and if Vega's still alive somehow, him too. And I guess this is where Sagat turns, because that does it for him in this movie, and it's never really explained what happens after that. But yeah, that's the end of him. Ryu and Honda at the scene. Guile touches down to tell Ryu Ken's been turned into Bison's weapon. Ryu doesn't believe it, thinking Ken's no terrorist, but seeing is believing. The debut of what SVC Chaos would dub Violent Ken. Uncut Guile tells Bison, "I'll rip your fucking heart out, you filthy bastard." Honda's done with this pontificating and all bullshit. He's like, I'm gonna kill this guy. So he runs through Bison. He teleports, gets slapped in the back of the head by Violent Ken, who gets pawned off on Balrog, who, oh god. Dude, both your eyes are lazy. You ain't winning this fight. What's happening to you? Oh, I don't like it. Guile versus Bison doesn't last too long, and Ryu versus Violent Ken. Ryu tries to talk Ken out of fighting him. A more psycho power-colored Hadouken from Ken nearly cooks Ryu. The impact leaves a crater. Like, holy shit, we're just straight up playing DBZ rules here. Big enough Kai Blast fuck up the architecture, so to speak. Ken sees the headband and starts hesitating. Scientist dude did warn Bison Ken wasn't fully ready just yet. Ken starts to see past Ryu, and the sight is enough for him to break Bison's control. Bison shows to send him packing, so now Ryu gets Bison while Ken tries to... I gotta get up and remember what Sensei meant by having to someday fight an opponent and go beyond victory. Isn't that Street Fighter 2V? Maybe this movie's responsible for that too. I'll have to cover that series at some point later. Speaking of callbacks, this is, or I guess call forwards, again, a lot of chicken or the egg with this. But yeah, this is Ryu and Ken versus Bison. Also referenced in Alpha 1 Dramatic Battle, so I think this movie came first and helped to flesh out a lot of things. Ryu actually lands a series of blows, leading to him getting pummeled. Ken attacks next, and Bison gets a taste of all three of the Shoto special. Ken's Tatsumaki, Ryu's spring-loaded Shoryuken, and a double Hadouken. Bison ain't sending that back. This vaporizes his ass and sends him into his VTOL, destroying that too. And oh hey, Honda miraculously survives and has Balrog and Guile in tow. Yeah, they like grapple, like roll each other off the side of the cliff. I'm like, how'd you do that? Never explained. Send in the cavalry to bomb Shadowloo's base. Guile gets a call from the hospital. But is that just Chun-Li though? Same voice, I think. I want to say it gives away the surprise. It's like, oh no, Guile's too late. Wait, no, she faked him out. I want to say it gives away the surprise, but when Ken is about to get nabbed, we get a Steve Bloom voice for a Bison underling, and then after Ken gets owned, there's Steve Bloom again for Guile. So yeah, kind of fucked up there, Chun. Ryu and Ken decide when next we meet, we'll go at it with no distractions. Ken drives off with Eliza. Ryu does his walking thing with the credits. Honk honk. Bison in a truck! Cyborg monitors this going on too. Sequel bait? Maybe that's to tie in the Japan-only PlayStation/Saturn game called Street Fighter II The Interactive Movie, where you play as one of the monitor cyborgs who, if you do well enough with grabbing pictures or something like that, I think according to the wiki explanation, you assimilate into a Shoto yourself, and then with that fight Ryu one-on-one. Lose in the ending is the same as the movie. Win and replace Vega as one of the four kings. Win via a perfect and become so assimilated with the Shoto, you face turn and take Bison down yourself. I told you this predates Seth. This movie was used, like, as background for multiple games, like even SNK with their Violent Ken. And it took Capcom a little later on to do that for the Switch, Ultra Street Fighter 2, and call them that as well. So, like I said, measuring stick. This movie's something special. Anyway, to the best character, I gotta love goofy, friendly-ass Honda. Would have liked to see more buddy-buddy stuff with Ryu, maybe spar with the guy. All the uncut version really gave me was swears, boobs, and more of that Vega Chun-Li fight. Awesome. Was hoping for more scenes cut from the movie, but still a very jovial guy. Reflects a bit in Alpha 3. Bison taunts him in the final battle, and he's just all, dude, what's with the villain speech? Worst character? I think T-Hawk gets done real dirty in this movie. Dude's that size, takes one Shoryuken, and that's it for him. Guess you can't really do too much with him being like a third wheel in the Chun-Gal dynamic. And then you just have the live-action trio, but replace Cammy with Chun-Li. Hilariously enough, the last screen was coming soon from Hollywood, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Raw Julia, Street Fighter. Every single special move looks beautifully devastating for the power-on moment. Like one sonic boom fucks up the entire nearby shack, probably Honda's. Oops. Good portion of characters do get their shit in, and it looks amazing when they do. Again, except for probably T-Hawk, who just throws like some vague chops here and there. Big enough to probably concuss Ken, but Ken knows to keep his distance from somebody that size. Power off? I'd be nitpicky, honestly, if I said I wanted more T-Hawk, Blanca, Geef, Doojay. I mean, they only show up a little bit, but none of those characters really drive the story plot of Street Fighter 2, the main thing. So, get them in and use sparingly, so no real complaints about this movie. It's practically flawless. I guess if I really had to pick something, the stuff where nothing really happens, Ryu just does thing, and the whole Shadaloo strolling in the place near the beginning, could have maybe pad down the movie time with that a little bit. If you really want flawed, we can look to the next time, just one short year later, with Street Fighter Alpha, the animation. So until next time, take care, and thanks for watching. Hopefully not too intently with like a monitor cyborg, because that's creepy. Wonder if VPNs cover those.